When you put one video up a month or one video up every 2 weeks, it'll do something. It may not the first few times, but it will eventually. And my suggestion is to do more than that.
That is definitely a challenge for myself.
Why is it a challenge?
I've always been the person behind the camera. I've never been a person that likes attention.
Why?
I think it's a fear of judgment or something.
Fear of judgment from whom?
People that I don't know.
Have you ever had a customer who has said to you, "You help me"?
I was at a conference. This lady, I was just talking to her. She was like, "Oh my goodness, you just spoke to me."
You have a gift and a talent to be able to make videos. You also have skill and insight that you can impart on others. And there are people who don't have access to that insight. If you can put your voice out and they individually hear you, who cares? The payoff that I get is in the people who are forever changed and forever helped.
With creating your videos and stuff, it seems like you're just like a kid in a candy store having fun, just like, oh, can we test out this? And just something different than your usual. You're like you had said before, you're like, this is fun stuff. And
yeah, it's fun. It's rewarding, and it's like it's a lab. I'm in the lab every day. Oh, what worked and what didn't? What did people pause on? What did people drop off? And what topic was resonating? What surprised me? It's all fun. And what I love about it is I think if I were doing the same thing, but I was doing it on like TikTok or Instagram only, it wouldn't be as fulfilling because those videos just disappear. It's been 2 days, it's been a week, they're gone. But with YouTube, people, I check all of my comments because I don't let any comment go live unless I approve it. And so every day I get comments for something I posted last year, a year ago, 7 months ago. And they're just discovering it as if I posted it today.
Yep.
And so that to me is really, really rewarding as well. Because when I first posted those videos, they got no views or 5 views.
Right.
But because my video just kept staying consistent over time, and this is what we're going to talk to Callum Johnson about in Mastermind. What he did really well was he posted videos and recorded videos as if millions of people were watching. It was the highest caliber of interview, even when he was getting 100 views. And it was frustrating to him. And he had quit his job, and it was the whole thing. And then when that one video, it was just one video you can see on his page that just took off. It got like 300, 400,000 views, maybe 100,000 views in a couple of days or something crazy. And it took off. All those other videos took off too, because everybody went back and watched those other videos. So that's why it's so fun for me.
And I hadn't even really thought about that, like from the YouTube perspective of, because all the other social media, it just comes and goes. Like my last job, I was an art director at an agency, and we were pumping out, I mainly did social stuff. And it's like, I was creating videos every day and doing stories and designs and stuff. And I'm like, I'll get frustrated because I'm like, I spent hours getting this design together for the story and it's gone.
Yeah.
And that sort of thing. So,
and what you'll do with YouTube, especially with your experience, you'll see a video 3 years from now. A video that you post this year, 3 years from now will make you money. Not just from YouTube monetization, but from whatever offer, whatever book, whatever other video they see that one caused them to see. For you specifically, that's going to be a pretty rewarding feeling. I would say this year, definitely go YouTube route. And once you have your offer, like when you work with Colin, get your offer kind of fleshed out, get the kind of flow of it. Okay, I'm going to talk to this many people. This is the offer I'm going to do. When you have all that infrastructure figured out, when you put one video up a month or one video up every 2 weeks, it'll do something. It may not the first few times, but it will eventually. And my suggestion is to do more than that. My suggestion is to get some food for the algorithm. Get some minutes so that YouTube can understand in a granular way what your channel is about. Feed it. And then it will know faster what you're about and put you in front of the right people faster.
That is definitely a challenge for myself. Well,
let's talk about that for a second. Why is it a challenge?
I've always been the person behind the camera. Like I was in college, I was a radio TV major. And I love doing like being the camera person. If I had to be talent, I was like, nope, not my thing. Like I just don't.
Why? Why?
Why? I don't like, I've never been a person that likes attention. And I'm
Why?
sure,
I'm gonna be a 4-year-old. Why?
well, and my 8-year-old, he asked questions. I'm like, don't ask me
Hmm.
why. I was just talking with somebody about this the other day. So I'm gonna get back to the why, but she told me after talking to me that I'm like the cat under the bed. That it's like I'm peeking out, but I'm too like timid to go out there and just put myself out there. I think it's a fear of like judgment or something. I don't even know why, but I just like I don't want anybody looking at me. They might think I'm sounding crazy or stupid
Hmm.
or something like that.
Fear of judgment from whom?
People that I don't know. I
Like
just
strangers, mostly.
just yeah, strangers.
Strangers.
I'm not really worried about, like people close to me or whatever. It's just I don't. And it's one of those things like when some people that I know really well, they're like, "Oh, you're not an introvert or whatever." You talk. I'm like, when I'm around people I'm comfortable with, yeah, I could talk all
Yeah.
day about whatever. And if I'm in a setting, I go to conferences and stuff, and I'll get out there and just start yipping and yapping to people. I have to
Hmm.
force myself to do it, but I'll do
Hmm.
it. But yeah, so
So
I don't
this
see
is
myself as being on camera that somebody wants to listen to.
okay. When have you ever had a friend or a customer who has said to you, "You helped me. This was helpful."
Mhm.
Give me an example of something where they said it. Why you helped them with what?
I was at a conference over the summer, and this lady, never met her. We were like had been through the same like coaching program, didn't know her, and we just started talking. And she was telling me about her fear of going off on her own because it was like consulting corporate and stuff, going off on her own from what she does right now in HR. And was talking to her, and I was feeding into her and saying that, it's okay to do both right now until you're at a point where you're comfortable. And I was just talking to her, and she was like, "Oh my goodness, you just spoke to me, and you just really helped me think about it in a different perspective," and blah blah blah. She was
Hmm.
like, "I'm so thankful for you," and all that
Yes.
stuff.
So that when that happened, you obviously remembered it because you were able to reference it.
Hmm.
Did it make you feel good? Did it make you feel proud?
I felt good, and then I was like, "Oh, little," I guess I downplayed
You
it or
doubted
something, but
yourself in the
I
moment.
was like, "Oh, little me," like I was just talking. I didn't think that what I was saying would like have that type of effect on her. Like she felt like it was a sign from God speaking
Yeah,
to her and all this
yeah.
stuff. So I didn't
Did
think it was that profound, but to her it did make a difference.
what? What did you just say? You didn't think it was that profound, but to her it was.
Hmm.
And I'm sure you were happy I can only imagine that you were happy that she found that insight,
Yeah.
that she
Yeah,
had
I
that
was.
insight.
Hmm.
So what I would do, because I used to have debilitating stage fright. I could not speak in front of more than two people at once. Now, the largest group I've spoken in front of today is 20,000 people.
Hmm.
So it has changed over the years.
Yeah.
And number one reason it changed was because the first time I did this thing in 2017 where I said I'm going to speak in front of 3 audiences this year, no matter what, even if I faint. And it was exactly that. I'm going to say something stupid. I'm going to get it wrong. I'm not going to remember the answer. Da 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 da. I'm going to be embarrassed, and it's going to be debilitating. I won't be able to move. I said I'm going to say yes to 3. I say yes to the first one. There are about 50 people in the audience. It's not even a stage. It's like just 3 chairs at the front. My heart is pounding. I'm so scared. I don't want to do it. I'm like, why did I say yes to this? It's like 30 seconds till we're supposed to start. And it's being streamed. And I look out in the audience, and all I see are mostly Black women, some of them with notebooks, all leaning in and smiling and just eager to hear anything I can tell them that'll help. Anything. And that moment, I realized it is not about me, it is about them. And it's because it's not about me, no one will care if I stumble over my words or forget something. It won't be the end of the world. I won't die up here, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And that changed everything for my life. Everything. For you with YouTube, you have a gift and a talent to be able to make videos that you've done for other people and made them money. You also have skill and insight that you can impart on others. And there are people who don't have access to that insight. There are people who are going to find you who are going to be, you're going to be their lifeline for that insight.
Mm.
And if you can put your voice out and they individually hear you, who cares if Bubba, who hasn't done a thing in his life worth anything, says, we don't know what you're talking about. You know what happens to me on YouTube almost every week?
What?
Some troll says I'm fat, I'm stupid, I'm a dyke, I'm a bitch.
Mm.
I do all my comments private, so I have to
Right.
prove them. And I just say, "Who are you talking to?" And I delete it. I said, and sometimes I laugh at it because I'm like, "Oh, that's clever." The way at
Mm.
least he turned the phrase, great. Because on my worst day is better than his best day or their best day.
Right.
And I get it not just from trolls that are anonymous. I get it from people I know. I get it from people who have audiences. I get a lot of hate because you get so much love, it's proportional. When I walk into an event, certain events, people flock on, like trying to sound like I'm a beetle, like I'm signing stuff, taking pictures, and
Mm-hmm.
that's so much love. So of course you're gonna have people standing behind me going, she ain't shit. You know what I do? I take my dollar bills out and I just dab
And
my tears. And I more than that, I take out the letters of people who say that I've saved their lives and I dab my tears. Anytime somebody says something, and by the way, when you think that they're saying something or thinking something, a lot of that is internal. A lot of that is your like, I don't know if I'm good enough, smart enough. I don't know if I'm advanced enough to be teaching this. I don't know if are there other people better than me? Am I charging? It's a lot of your own self-talk for
yeah.
multiple reasons.
Mm-hmm.
But the more you can combat that and just get out there and you just tell yourself it's going to happen. People are going to say some crazy stuff. People may
Mm-hmm.
even think some crazy stuff. There are people
Right.
right now having lunches right now talking shit about me. I used to care, but I
Right.
don't anymore because the upside that I get, the payoff that I get is in the people who are forever changed and forever helped. The rest of it is like, eh. Another good way to think about somebody that you care about and say everything that you're saying about yourself and what you can't do and what if they say this. Imagine they said that to you. What would you tell them?
I try and give them motivation and
Exactly, because you know that because you know outside of yourself that if somebody a really best friend or your spouse or whomever said, "I'm afraid of what they'll say," and even without saying it out loud, internally, the first thing you think is, "Who cares what they say?"
mm-hmm.
You are a good person. You are giving value. There are people who need to hear you.
Mm-hmm.
There's always going to be trolls in this world. There's always going to be like jerks on the
Right.
internet. There'll be jerks in real life. I got people coming at me from every direction.
I can't even imagine.
It's really tough sometimes and I get really upset sometimes. But I tell you what, it takes about a few minutes these days for me to snap out of it because I'm like, I can't be what they're calling me or saying about me if I have all these people that have been helped. You can't take that away.
Right.
You can't take that part away. So it'll take you years to get to the point where I am of having that amount of hate. And it'll be
Mm-hmm.
a good day because you'll know you've reached so many people in a positive way because it is
Right.
proportionate. So the first step is, can I just step out and put up some videos and know that most of the world will never see those videos? There are 7.8 billion people in the world, and
Right.
most of the people in the world will never see the videos. 10 people might see the first video. But what if two people of that 10 really needed to see it? See it.
Hmm.
Yeah. It's important for me in a world where there are so many voices that are damaging and that we have so little space that we have been given voluntarily. It's important for me that we take up more space.
Right.
And so I have to tell anybody that I see who has potential and has like a voice and something
Hmm.
meaningful to put in the world, I have to at least say to them, don't be the person that keeps your voice quiet because we have so many people trying to do that.
No, I understand you. And it is weird because it's like so many other areas in my life. Like I've always kind of been a person like I don't care what people, and maybe it was a thing that I would just say that I didn't care what people said, but maybe I did internally. But I guess it would be around like in my small group. But I think it's more of just really putting it out there. That
Yeah,
was
putting it
my
out
main
there
thing.
is scary, but that's what bravery is about.
Yeah.
So it's going to take bravery and it's going to feel, ugh. And you might decide after you do it a couple times, I don't like it. It's not worth it to me to feel this way. I don't like it. I'm not going to do it. But
Hmm.
I think what I've seen so many people in the last 6 months figure out is that they actually do like it. They just didn't know it because they didn't do it.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like so many people in
Yeah.
all access are posting their videos. This is my first video. It was like it took me a while, but man, I'm so excited. I got my first comment, like just taking the plunge. If you take the plunge and say it was too cold, I won't do that again. All good. All
Right.
good.
At least I tried.
I hear you. Yeah. But
Yeah.
for you not to even know yet and count yourself out, to me, that's the shame. That's the
Okay.
too bad thing.
You've planted that seed, and otherwise I would not, that was not on my thing to do. If anything, I was just trying to get to a hump, over a hump, to even post a couple videos like on LinkedIn, but I
Yeah.
definitely wasn't looking to do anything on YouTube.
You can test the waters on LinkedIn. I think the YouTube reasoning is what we talked about earlier, is just that sustainability of it. Like you
Hmm.
you are creating an asset that will pay off for years. It could
Yeah.
potentially. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.